Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Congregation Beth Israel in Houston. Live streaming is here for you. I'm delighted that we can share the Shabbat together, sharing beautiful prayers, inspiring music, and an important message. As the week continues and Shabbat begins, please accept my very best wishes for good health, much life, and greater peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos to each of you. It's always a wonderful opportunity to welcome you into the sanctuary, setting aside the challenges of a week that is gone as we anticipate the beauty and spirit of the Sabbath. A week ago, we came into the sanctuary filled by hundreds of people seeking comfort after a very tragic week. And on that night, we opened the prayer book to share a prayer that helped us understand what this place and this time has come to mean to us. I don't want to leave those words only in last week, but to carry them further into this week too, into the times that we have to anticipate as we carry hope with us each and every day. So tonight, let's take hold of our prayer book and turn to the bottom of page 6 as we welcome each other into this place where all our values and all our hopes can be found. Let's read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
And now we can feel that we trust each other, that we are in the right place for all the right reasons. And we can continue with a song that brings us together as a worshiping and congregational family. We can turn to page 10 and join in singing Yedid Nefesh.
Hey
We turn now in our prayer books to page 2 and 3. It's a pleasure to invite Stacy Burke and Leslie Strauss to lead us in the blessing over the Sabbath lights.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
The lights of Shabbat welcome us into the spirit we've all come here to experience. Now we can turn to page 146 for our call to worship Baruch Hu. Please rise. Page 147, responsively. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom.
Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures.
Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment we stand face to face with truth.
In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lachtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leod al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha Leman tizkeru ba'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Together, thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp, as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between God and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
We continue with Tefillah, beginning on page 155 and continuing on 156. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei v'Nehem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah.
Page 157, responsively. We pray that we might know before whom we stand, the power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have forgotten how to live, having implanted within us an eternal spirit.
We pray for winds to disperse the air of sadness, for rains to make parched hopes rise again.
We pray for love to encompass us, for no reason save that we are human, that we may blossom into persons who have gained power over our own lives.
We pray to stand upright, we fallen, to be healed, we sufferers. We pray to break the bonds that keep us from the world of beauty. We pray to be open to our own true selves. We pray that we may walk in a garden of purpose, in touch with the power of the world.
Praise be the God whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains let parched men and women rise again. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, Kadoshim b'chol yom yichalucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Page 160, together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 163, responsively. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being.
For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, Hato Shimcha Ulecha Na'eh Lehodot. Together, grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, ba shalom.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. 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 Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We pause now for a few moments of silent prayer. on Shabbat. We pray that all of the prayers and blessings we enjoy will also extend to all those who are in need of healing, a physical healing and a spiritual healing. Tonight we think of Susan Pye, Michael O'Connor, Steve Trumpeter, Dan Lightman, Marilyn Silman, Larry Ricklin, Jeffrey Feinstein, Carol Danick, Maury Abramson, as well as all those who you are thinking of within your own families and circle of friends. We extend to them our wish of complete and full healing as we join together in the words of Misha Beirach, which can be found on page 251.
Shabbat is a time of thanks, gratitude, blessings in our life. And there is this night another need to express our gratitude that God provides us so many helpers and supporters to protect us in all that we cherish for ourselves, our families, and children with us. And so as Veterans Weekend is observed, we want to express our thanks and gratitude to those who are veterans, military, service members, and first responders. If you are here tonight to be recognized as a veteran, a member of the military, armed services, or first responder, please stand where you are so we may recognize you tonight. And please remain standing if you would. Please remain standing. Out of gratitude to all that you do and have done for our country, for our people, the Jewish people came to this country seeking exactly the cherished values that we don't take for granted. Freedom of religion and expression, freedom to cherish all that this country promised to our ancestors when they first came, and so that our children can continue to cherish them now. So we ask God's blessing to be with you. Baruch atah Adonai, praised are you, God, who created men and women, who found within themselves the fortitude to sacrifice for others, for our nation's values, for each of its citizens. Thank you, dear God, for protecting them along the way so that they can continue to choose life each day. And even as we remember those who have gone from life, who paid the highest price in protection of those values, we are grateful that we can continue to remember the high price that each of us must pay in order to call America the home of the brave, the home of the free. God, be with these men and women. Help them to know how grateful we are. Guide them in all the days of their life. And may they continue to go, mechayel lechayel, from strength to strength, with our gratitude, our deepest thanks, and your most abiding blessing. Amen. Thank you, men and women. I received a phone call this past week. It was a familiar phone call scheduled, somebody I needed to speak with. She's a woman who lives in Philadelphia. We happen to share something in common. We both serve on a board called the Jewish Community Legacy Project. And just a brief word about the JCLP. It's not an advertisement or commercial, but to let you know that one of the processes and one of the projects that I work on with her and with many others is an effort to prolong the life of very small congregations in very small towns around the country. Some of these congregations have really a limited lifetime because many of the young people have moved back to the large cities. And some of the places you might remember where you grew up might very well be a place where a small congregation exists. So the role of the Jewish Community Legacy Project is not to hasten the demise or close these congregations, but to be sure that they can remain active as long as they can. And when the day does come when the doors might close, that their assets will always be protected and used to secure the continuity of Jewish communities, either there or elsewhere. So when we spoke on the phone about the JCLP this week, she told me that it's been a very difficult week for her. Philadelphia isn't very far from Pittsburgh. And she told me 3 of those who were murdered in that horrible, tragic time and in that beautiful synagogue were connected to her by just a 1 degree or 2. The doctor who was so instrumental in saving lives and promoting the welfare of those living with AIDS, and the 2 brothers who were so dear and cherished in that congregation because of their kindness as they welcomed so many into that place each week. She broke into tears on the phone. We spent a few minutes talking about all that she experienced and all that we continue to feel in our own homes and synagogues. And then we got on to business. But she spoke about horror and hope. Those were the 2 words that she used. And when she spoke about horror and hope, it led me to remember, and all of us do know, that it isn't just in these current times that our people has always experienced this cycle of horror and hope. If we really go back all the way to the Torah, and though we're not reading the portion yet, we find in the book of Exodus the very place where horror and hope began. When the Israelites were enslaved in Egypt, it came after the time when a new Pharaoh arose in Egypt who knew not Joseph, who didn't know the welfare that Joseph brought to Pharaoh's kingdom and all the good that the Israelites did for him. But once a new Pharaoh arose in Egypt who knew not Joseph, then the Israelites were subject to slavery that continued for 430 years. And only a Moses arose who came walking through the desert and happened upon that lowly thorn bush that burned unconsumed. And there he beheld a great sight, and I would say that God beheld a great sight too, because Moses didn't extinguish the fire with all the sand that surrounded him. Rather, God called to Moses and said, "Moses, Moses," and Moses replied, "Hineni, here I am." And next God said to Moses to remove your sandals, for you are standing in a holy place. We should recall that that holy place was not a beautiful bema. It wasn't a sacred temple. It was a place out in the sand, opposite a lowly thorn bush. But even in that lowly place, they began to take an accounting of the slavery that the Israelites endured under Egyptian bondage. Was a place in which God's presence was also found, not just in the high places, but in the low places too. And God said to Moses there, "Ered lahatzilo," I came down, lahaloto, in order to bring them up. If you open an English translation, it will say, "I came down to bring them out of Egypt." It's not that interesting. But if we read, "I came down in order to bring them up," we find that God meets us where we are, and always for the purpose of bringing us out of that place to be built up, raised up for something higher and holier. And in fact, the people did. Ultimately, we know that God brought them out of the land of Egypt. And where did God bring them? To Mount Sinai, where God's presence wasn't found in a lowly thorn bush, but in fact, God's presence was found at the top of Mount Sinai, where the people didn't have to look down. The people looked up, from horror to hope. That's the journey of our people. And on this night, when we also observe the 80th anniversary of Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, literally November 9th and 10th, 1938, we recall from memory and from history the horror that our people began to know in Germany and in Nazi Europe. The hope ultimately came, but not without great sacrifice and the loss of 6 million plus lives. It came because veterans, whom we also recognize and honor tonight, led the way not only to redeem Europe, but to liberate the death camps from horror to hope. And so we come back to the subject of Pittsburgh, that we came here last week to acknowledge and to find comfort. And we have to appreciate that although there was horror in Pittsburgh, and we hope, each of us, that it shouldn't happen again, I would suggest that we have to break this terrible cycle. And we have to find that we are the ones who have to acknowledge that we sometimes find ourselves standing in the lowly places, waiting to be called. Because each of us has a mind and a heart and hands who appreciate the teachings of our tradition, which are not here to be handed off to someone else, to bring us up and out of the places where we struggle, but rather they are for each of us. The Torah also says that the Torah is not in the high heavens, that someone has to go get these teachings and bring them back to us, to impart them to us, nor are they over the sea to do the same. But rather the Torah says, Beficha, they're already in our mouths to speak of, to speak truth to power. Bilvavcha, they're already in our hearts to move us sincerely to accomplish the deeds that we need to do. La'asoto, they're in our hands to make them real, to make them happen. If we truly cherish peace in our land, then it's time to break the cycle of horror and hope, and to bring hope in place of horror, and to make sure that each of us plays a role to find that peace is possible in our time, in our place, and especially when it's challenged the very most. I know that we're not going to find in any place a burning bush that burns unconsumed. We might not even hear the still small voice that we're urged to listen to in our kishkis, in our guts. But if from time to time you are moved by the moment and moved by the issues of the day to make a difference, I would dare say that that is indeed the still small voice calling out to you. And then let God be moved and awed by the remarkable sight that God sees in each of you. And when God calls to you, perhaps you might say, as many of us often do, Hineni, here I am, prepared to make a difference, prepared to come down to a place where we have to share the struggle and the horror before we all move up to find the hope and the glory that is always possible in a land of freedom, a land of peace. Just ask a veteran tonight about the struggle and the hope that each of us can find. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will that we may always find hope. May we never suffer horror and never know struggle again. Amen. Please rise. As we take our places before the Holy Ark, we do stand in a high place, a very sacred place that these two families have come to know throughout the generations. And as we open the Torah this week to Toldo, to read about the generations that continue to unfold before us, we are delighted that we can promise these Torahs and these teachings to the next generation to bring us all the strength and all the hope that we seek. What a joy now to take the Torahs and pass them from grandparents to parents to children.
Ramamu Adonai Eloheinu, V'hishtahavu lechar kodsho, Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Exalt Adonai our God, and bow down toward God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
In our prayer books now, we turn to the bottom of page 282 and 287 as we join in Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא מנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Page 294. We take this time now to call to heart and mind the memory of all those who have departed this earth and entered the peace of life eternal, especially this night as the Yortzeit candle burns before the Sabbath candles on the bima. We acknowledge those who perished in the Shoah, in the Holocaust, and on the night of Kristallnacht. As well, we recall the memories of those who are dear to us, whose anniversary of death is observed tonight. We remember Harding Frankel, Lillian Blumenthal, Rose Davis, Sophia Natkin, Ansel Oshman, Isidore Polikoff, Seal Amsterdam, Sam Amsterdam, Shirley Bayer, Jean Burke, Richard Carter, Scott Kotler, Tess Craker, Miriam Schwartz, Terry Sussman, Barnett Bloom, Eva Dubin, Gloria Gerson, Raymond Harris, Baruch Klein, Clara Leon, Charles Leston, Alita Cohen, Frieda Gatchman, Eva Gelder, Uzi Halevi, Toby Nathan, Nicia Rappaport, Aaron Rosenzweig, Eva Sabin, Jake Sampson, Ida Shanzer, Richard Fox, Earl Mindus, Morris Russ, Helen Berenstein, Jerry Bales, Ronald Finger, Elsa Herzfeld, David Leff, Max Levy Jr., Arthur Lipper, Nanette Lipper, Matilda Pasternak, Milton Sheps, Grigory Shakin, Beatrice Groginski, Charlotte Himmel, Harold Lapidus, Henry Lusky, Bessie Rothstein, Marlene Rubenstein, Serena Schaefer, Ruth Stein, Gertrude Strauss, Kenneth Silman. In their memory and in their honor, let us rise as a congregation to remember them together as we join in reciting the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrachirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayed echol Beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olam me'amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh, v'yidadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'gudashah b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiram v'yalma v'imru amen. Hey shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to all the bereaved among us, as together we say, amen. Continue with Kiddush so that we may sanctify the Sabbath day and give thanks to God for the gifts of our life. Our B'nai Mitzvah will lead us, and we can join them on page 5.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage, as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon hinilanu, zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, inchalta
Baruch Ata Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Irving Stern, and I have the privilege of serving as the president of Congregation Beth Israel's Board of Trustees. Mazel Tov to the families of Rena Presley and Layden Strauss, who are becoming B'nai Mitzvah this Shabbat. This weekend, we welcome Mackenzie Hahn, our 2018-19 fellow from the ISJL, the Institute of Southern Jewish Life. Mackenzie will be with us throughout the weekend, leading programming and representing the ISJL, our partner organization who provides resources and curricula to children in the Miriam Browning Jewish Learning Center. Welcome, Mackenzie. On Tuesday night, November 13th at 7 p.m., David Scott will lead a session focused on Musar, an 800-year-old Jewish ethical practice. We will explore the theme of gratitude together with other Musar leaders in the congregation. If you've never studied Musar before, come learn what it's all about. Next Thursday night, the Adult Education Committee invites you to a screening of the film Above the Drowning Sea. This documentary explores the Jewish community who found refuge in Shanghai, China during World War II. And there'll be plenty of Chinese food to go around. We are still accepting bags from Count Me In, a local organization that provides Hanukkah presents to children in need. Should you choose to participate, please return your bag this Sunday morning to the Miriam Browning School office. See Rabbi Foster with any questions. As we commemorate the 80th anniversary of Kristallnacht, we are mindful of our shared history and our commitment to making the world a better place. As Veterans Day approaches, we are grateful to all the veterans, first responders, and active duty officers here with us tonight. Thank you for your service. During tonight's Oneg, Philip Wise, Sheila Horn, and I look forward to welcoming you at the membership table in Wolf Tuman Hall. Thank you for joining us tonight at Congregation Beth Israel. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It seems so appropriate in honor of the freedoms we have come to know and that we cherish, that we would end this night as we join in singing God Bless America. If you need the words, they're found on page 376. Please rise and join us.
Land
following the closing benediction. Please remain in your places for a moment so that we may make our way from the sanctuary. We look forward to greeting each of you in the social hall and wishing you Shabbat Shalom. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, in your presence we find hope. Guide us in the days to come. May we and all your children everywhere know life and joy and greater peace. Amen. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for joining us at Congregation Beth Israel in Houston. Sharing Shabbat with you is so meaningful to us. Let's join together again very soon. My very best wishes to you for a good week. Shabbat Shalom.